Hey, I'm Heather Markel, Intuitive Business and Peak Lifestyle Coach with Heather Begins. I am back with another video to inspire you to quit your job and feel great about it. In this video, I'm going to cover 6 ways, I got good at that since the last video, 6 ways to survive without your job. If you are planning to quit your job, you're probably very focused on actually all of the pre-quitting things, all of the concerns that you have about getting your stuff in order, communicating, maybe putting stuff in storage, depending on what your situation is. And you may be less focused on thinking about life after you quit your job. So I wanted to kind of give you a few insights from the other side to help you be inspired and prepared for what happens when you quit your job. The first thing you will probably notice is that time flows entirely differently. Forgetting the pandemic, I often don't know what day of the week it is, what time it is. Now I'm recording this, at the recording of this, I have been in New Zealand for a year and trying to keep up with being a day ahead and being in the future and all that. I have a hard time, and that's another story. But if you are quitting and you are even in the same time zone, it's just that because you don't now rely on a job to tell you what to do, how to do it, and where to be, and calls and all of that stuff, all of a sudden, time is yours. Now, that seems like a gift, and in many ways, actually, it's a huge gift, but it takes some getting used to. If you don't like being bored, you are going to have a bit of a struggle at the beginning because your day now, instead of relying on someone else or someone else's to tell you what to do, where to be, when, etc., it's all up to you. You become the creator of your life, of your schedule, and it's extremely empowering. But in the beginning, it may seem extremely frustrating because it's like, what do I do now? I can do anything. And you may risk also kind of like watching TV or doing something that makes you feel like you're just wasting days, and you want to make sure to avoid that. So I would suggest that you get ready for time to flow differently, that you are prepared to, you might want to add some structure at the beginning. So even plan out like every Tuesday from 3 to 5, you do one activity. Maybe you're writing, maybe you are, when the pandemic is over, you might go to the gym, you might make business plans, whatever those are. Write down on a schedule that you can see, either like a whiteboard or a paper schedule, or if you work better with your phone, use that. Write down the activities that you plan to do and the days and times that you plan to do them, because it is helpful to have some reminders and be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that today, and hold yourself accountable to yourself to do that. And if that gets hard and frustrating at the beginning, you might engage a friend and just ask them to sort of like call you once a day at 1 p.m. to make sure that you're actually awake, that you've gotten done whatever it was that you said you were going to get done, and if not, what your plan is to get it done. The second way to survive without a job is to spend less. Now, in the last video, I believe I mentioned a lot about budgeting and spending less, but it becomes really important because without that full-time gig, you really do need to pay attention to the money coming in and the money going out, more importantly, the money going out, because you, in a corporate job or full-time gig, you might, just like me, have been sort of staying in the green and just keeping out of debt, but that's not enough. Now you actually have to have budget and have control and structure around how much that you are spending. And I would suggest creating a daily budget, like a per diem budget. That really made all the difference for me being able to travel full-time and sustain that. So if you make a per diem budget and you actually track how much you spend each day, and when you get close to that, or you just like $1 over, whatever, that's it, you're done for the day, and you be really rigid about staying within that expense limitation so that you can be okay and have enough money to survive without that job. The third way that you can survive without a job is to sell what you don't need. Now, in the pandemic, might be a little bit more challenging, but there are Facebook groups There are, in America anyway, like things like Craigslist. There's many different avenues you can take. But if you look around you, you no doubt don't need everything that you have. So try to take a look around you and just pull out a bunch of things that you don't need and see if you can sell them. You might be able to sell them to neighbors. You might be able to sell them to friends. You might be able to use one of those online groups or websites and sell them there. But selling them gives you some income as well. So because you're literally like sitting on wasted money when you have stuff around you that you're not using. So why not go ahead and make money that you can use to also enlarge in how much time that you can survive without that job. The fourth way that you can survive without a job is to either downsize your home or get rid of your home altogether. One of the saving graces for me to be able to travel full-time was giving up my apartment. Scary to do, right? Because I officially don't have a true home of my own, but that rent that I was paying per month, I no longer pay. So that gives me a lot more money to drive towards what I love doing. And by the way, since I'm traveling all the time, I don't really need to pay for rent in a home that I'm not using, and I can't Airbnb it. By the way, if you do have a home that you own and you want to, say, travel full time, you might consider actually Airbnb-ing your home when things open up again, or renting it out to somebody else. That might be easier so that you can actually have that rental income coming in while you're off enjoying yourself, doing whatever you want. And in fact, even if you downsize, you might even see what the cost works out to be if you rented out your current home and you got a smaller home. So again, the rent you're getting on your larger place hopefully would cover the rent of your smaller place and some. So another way that you can feel really comfortable and confident about affording your life without a job. The fifth way to survive without a full-time job. So I don't know about you, but one of the things that really held me up was, how on earth am I going to afford healthcare? Like, my job pays for it and I don't even know how to get it. And so it turns out, if you go and look into it, there's a ton of ways to get healthcare, and you don't even have to do, and there's like, in America anyway, we have those HMOs. And I am talking, by the way, to my expertise is with the American market. So some of this may or may not apply to you if you are not from America, but I found that, there's lots of freelance groups that offer, if you take a membership with them, you can get health insurance through them for a discounted rate. And it can be actually good insurance depending what you get. Now, the other thing you can do is look up an insurance broker, like health insurance broker. And if you get in touch with them, they usually are able to set you up with a great healthcare plan, probably even better than the freelance ones, and may or may not be more or less expensive than that. So that's why you should investigate all of the different options and know that there are a lot of options. And this is something you might want to do before you quit, so that you are informed and so you feel comfortable that you're not going to like lose health insurance and be in a bind. Finally, the sixth way to survive without a job is be patient with yourself. It is a process. I think first off, you should reward yourself once you do quit. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment, especially if you have quit either for yourself, to do something you love, to start a business, things like that, as opposed to quitting just to take another full-time gig. So really be kind to yourself, be congratulatory. That took a lot of courage, a lot of risk that you will one day look back on and be really proud of yourself. And even if things don't go exactly as you plan them to go, just know that there's always options. I hope for you that that's something that you find when you take some time out for yourself, that you look around you and realize that there's just so many more options than you may have initially realized when you were in a full-time gig. But all of this takes time. It is a change. It's a change of lifestyle. It's a change of pace. In fact, the energy that you have in a day is very different. You use energy differently. You notice energy differently. There's just so many different things, in fact, that you will notice because while you're working full-time and so focused on your job, you're actually not noticing the world and the people around you. And now all of a sudden you will. And it's kind of shocking. It's like, oh my God, like this person or this experience was like right next door or right around me all the time and I never knew that. Well, yeah, that's what happens. So Be patient, be kind to yourself, and you will have an amazing time after you quit your full-time job. If you've missed any of the prior videos in this series, make sure to check out the playlist. I'll put it in the description box below. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel to get notified of new videos. You can click the bell next to after you subscribe to make sure that you do get notified when I release a new video. While you're waiting, please feel free to head over to my website at heatherbegins.com. I have fun quizzes and lots of travel information and blogs. Come on over, have a look, and inspire yourself. And I will see you on the next video. Bye!